of getting information and distilling that information into the most important elements and communicating it out to our coworkers, our residents, business partners. And that's what I still do in my financial analyst role, actually. A lot of gathering information, interpreting what it means, and giving that to the executives in the most condensed, efficient way possible. So after I started in government, I wanted to move to the private sector and get some experience working for a public company. So I switched roles completely, started an MBA program to start my finance career, and I specialized in finance during that MBA at University of Oregon. And then after the pandemic, got a job with ZoomInfo, the software company in Vancouver, and ended up really grateful to have the people that I learned from there teach me how to use Excel the right way, I would say. And for everyone listening, when I say the right way with Excel, it's really like knowing how to use Excel efficiently and manipulating data efficiently using your shortcuts and your hotkeys. Because I can tell you when I'm working, you can really tell when someone's new with Excel, and it makes things less efficient if you're still clicking around and copying and pasting from documents into something that's a little more manual. So I would suggest for everyone, if you're listening and you want a career in finance, you probably know this already, but you do need to get some practical experience with Excel. And that could involve a class, but I feel like the best training is learning from someone who knows the formulas and the hotkeys like the back of their hand. And eventually, if you are going to work in finance, you'll most likely learn this program as well, like the back of your hand. It just takes patience and time. And what I do at Lattice now is I manage the general and administrative budget functions. So I serve our CFO directly, our chief legal officer directly, and our chief human resource officer in terms of budget. I handle all of their budget. And it's a really rewarding career. I feel like financial planning and analysis, that's the career track I'm on right now, offers you a lot of work-life balance if you get the right manager. It's not as stressful or as time-consuming and encompassing as like the buy or sell side of finance if you're working in the capital markets or working in the stock market. So I really enjoy my career in FP&A, and I think I'm going to stick around for a while. And it gives you a lot of opportunities as well. It's a good place to get your footing in the corporate finance world and understand how operating expenses work, understand how the balance sheet works, like they were talking about before. And you get to meet a lot of super smart people that can teach you a lot of different things. So, yeah, that's my career into finance in a nutshell. Started in Southern California, moved up to University of Oregon to get an MBA in finance, and now I'm in my second place of employment doing finance for a public company.
So what is accounting, first of all? So it's essentially the language of business. It's how you record and summarize financial transactions. Basically, it's a way of communicating a business or an individual's financial position, keeping track of their expenses, their revenues, their liabilities. Every single like business, a person needs an accountant. When they're filing their taxes at the end of the year, they need to have an accurate understanding of how much they've made and how much money and assets they have. So this basically means that accountants are always in high demand. So it's a career with great job security and growth potential. And there's also a lot of flexibility because there are so many different types of accountants. So if you want to pursue accounting, you can honestly start whenever. You can start in high school, you can start in college. In high school, a couple classes you might want to look into taking are accounting, economics, the AP economics, finance, business math, intro to business, and virtual enterprises. A few clubs that are great for high schoolers are DECA, BPA, which are both competitive business clubs. Finance club is also a good one. They do like stock market competitions. And the National Business Honor Society is also a great one. So in higher education, there's a lot of options to go into accounting. You could major or minor in accounting. There's variations of that major, such as forensic accounting and managerial accounting, which I'll get into a bit later. And then you could go
to double majoring. A lot of your classes overlap, A lot of the material from finance can help in accounting and vice versa. So if you're interested in both, I highly encourage you to go ahead and do both majors. And I think it helps you get a fuller picture and understanding of what you're trying to do. As a tax accountant, we work closely with FP&A and other pieces of the business, so I think that it's nice to have that background and that understanding. I will also say, in terms of schooling, I think that it's really important to pick as many classes in diverse areas as you can. I hadn't taken a tax class until I was a junior in college, and tax totally changed the way that I thought about accounting and what I wanted to do with my career. And so after that, I started looking for internships in tax specifically, and I was lucky enough to be hired on at Lattice as an intern. And I worked there for about a year as an intern, kind of understanding what it means to be in tax, and decided that that's what I wanted to do with my career. Tax is really misunderstood. I think we are very compliance-based, and that's what a lot of people think of. We do file a lot of returns, whether it's your income tax returns or your sales and use tax returns, but we also do a handful of other things that I think are really important for the business as a whole. One of our main objectives is to mitigate tax risk, and that's really the fun piece of it, is we get to work with a lot of other sections in the business and talk about how we're going to mitigate our risk as a company, whether that's shipping products into a state that are going to charge you more taxes, and how can we move around that? Can we ship those products somewhere else? The foreign side of tax also, where can we put our business in jurisdictions that are not going to